All right, thank you, everybody. Now I'm delighted to introduce our speaker for today, Karen Lamb with Lulu's on In. I'm really excited to hear her story because it's non-traditional. What she's doing with her business is out of the ordinary. It's exciting, it's very cool. She's making a difference in downtown Lincoln and in the community. So we're real excited to hear what she's got to say. On the newsletter I sent out this week, I included a link to a news story. I think it was from 10/11, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
probably.
10/11. They did a great story on her and her business. So click on that link and check out the news story. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to Karen and let her tell us the story. Whatever you're more comfortable.
Okay.
Okay, well, good morning. As Steve said, I'm Karen Lamb, owner of Lulu's on N. I'll give you just a real quick background on me to let you know how I got to this place. My business background, I have a degree in business from Doane College in Crete, making me an ex-Cretian, right? I also have an associate's degree in investment management from Southeast Community College, right? Most people go to a 2-year program and then a 4-year. I've never done anything in the traditional way, as you will see. Most of my working life has been in banking, insurance, and securities. Worked in that industry for 17 or 18 years. That came to an end very abruptly in January of 2006. Gave me an opportunity, shall we say, to think about what I really wanted to do. And also that was kind of driven by the fact that I looked everywhere for a job. I had 5 securities licenses, 15 years of experience in banking and securities, and couldn't find a job. People said, well, we can't pay you what you were making. And I started saying, well, can you pay me anything? Because that's more than I'm making now. So it was a time of reappraisal, and out of that time, I decided to do 2 things that I really wanted to do, but always had excuses not to. But I told my husband, we can't get much poorer, so now is the time. So I did 2 things. I became a pastor in the United Methodist Church, and I started a small catering business out of my home. 2 things I was passionate about, I really wanted to do. And then to support those, I also started working part-time in an insurance office, using the skills that I had doing customer service. Fast forward to 2014. I left the insurance office. My father had died. I needed to spend more time with my mother. We all know how that goes, unfortunately. And I was kind of looking for the next thing. What do I want to do? I was still doing some catering, and I was working really part-time for Right at Home, doing some in-home care for the elderly. But I thought, well, you know, this is not really my passion. And I heard through the grapevine, through some good friends, that Terry Ertel, owner of Serendipity's Cupcakes, was looking for a partner. Thought, well, what the heck? I know how to bake. I like cupcakes. So I met with her, and lo and behold, we went into business together. That was in February of 2014. May of 2014, we got this crazy idea that we should open a restaurant. Who wouldn't, right? Yeah. So we moved into the doomed space at 48th and Cornhusker, where no restaurant has ever lasted. The rent was cheap, and it went well for a couple years. Really, we had good business base, we had a good model. And then, you know, as sometimes happens with small businesses, you all know that, things just started falling apart. We brought in a partner that opened a gluten-free bakery, and she decided one night without telling us that she was not going to be our partner anymore, and she took the business assets and went out on her own. So that happened. We brought in another partner who was going to do bagels. Well, once she saw how hard we worked, she decided that she didn't want to do that either. We closed that space. We opened in Wells Fargo downtown in the closet that is 88 square feet. We were there for 2 years, and actually that was a good move for us, but it was a closet. And during that time, we were approached by the Lincoln Community Foundation. The Corn Popper had left its place that it had been for 35 years. That space was empty. It was April of 2017, and as you might know, concerts are in the garden starting in May every week. They were desperate, basically, for someone to get into that space before the concert started. We negotiated back and forth because, frankly, when they told us what they were going to charge for rent, we just said, no, we're not going to commit to paying a rent we know we can't pay from our past experience, right? We all know that when you sign a contract, you sign a lease, you're promising to pay. So we said no, and they came back and said, well, how about if we, and it was a great deal. And we said, sure, we'll move in. We had 10 days to clean. Okay, nothing against the Corn Popper, but there was 35 years of popcorn grease inside that building. Got it all cleaned up, opened, and it was out of that today's mission of Lulu's kind of started. I knew that there was a big homeless population downtown, and I had always wanted to do something. When we were at 48th Street, I wanted to allow people to eat and then let them sweep up or take the trash out or do dishes. Well, Lancaster County Health Department does not allow that. So that idea kind of just got shelved. When we moved downtown, I talked to my partner and I said, let's do a community meal program. Let's let people be generous. Let's have people have the opportunity to donate $5, and then we'll put tickets in the window, and each $5 represents a meal for someone that can't pay. Well, it was embraced. We did pretty well, but we found ourselves every week having to tell people, sorry, there's no tickets. We can't get you something today. And generally I would, make them a tuna sandwich or something. But I saw that the need was much greater than the donations we were getting. Fast forward again, Terry left the business at the end of 2017, got a new partner, Matt Jewell, came in December, worked all through 2018. We were doing pretty well, did a lot of catering, but again, we just weren't getting enough donations for the community meal program to be funded consistently. Matt left the business in December of 2018. Again, another agonizing reappraisal. What am I going to do? Can I do this by myself? Do I want to do this by myself? I was still working part-time at the insurance agency. I had gone back to work there to fund Lulu's, really. Serving 2 churches, thinking, I'm working really hard. Is this really what I want to do, and how am I going to continue? Well, the answer came, and the answer was form a nonprofit. Feed everybody who is hungry. Rely on the community and on grants to fund this enterprise. So January, we started feeding everyone, whether we had donations or not. We got some great news coverage from Channel 8, which led to a story in the Journal-Star by Cindy Lang-Cubic, which led to Lance's Journal on Channel 10. The community has been very, very supportive. We're averaging now 50 free meals a day. Now, those of you who are in business know that it's crazy to have a business model where you give away your product, right? It is. It's crazy. But we're filling a need. There are so many people that are hungry in Lincoln. We don't think about that. They're not all homeless. Some of them are living on disability, and when it gets to the end of the month, there's no money for groceries. Some of them are between jobs. There's a million different stories. There's a story, sometimes 2 or 3 stories for each person. Do we help people that don't need it? I'm sure we do. We don't ask. If someone comes to the window and says, "Can I get a meal? I can't pay for it," we let them order off the menu. And that's the big way that we're different, because people say, well, the City Mission feeds people every day, or Matt Talbot feeds people, or the Gathering Place feeds people, and that's right, they do. Our difference is people are treated just like a paying customer. They come to the window, we get their name, we get their order. We don't say, today you're getting tuna casserole, today you're getting chicken noodle soup. It's order what you want. They're treated with dignity. It is an interesting population. Do we have some trouble once in a while? Yes, we do. I don't want to idealize this. It is a population that we often want to overlook. We don't want to believe that in Lincoln, Nebraska, we have this issue of poverty and food insecurity. Many of the people that we serve have either addictions or mental health issues, sometimes both. They just want someone to listen to them, to treat them like they're a regular person, because they are. They just want someone to know their name. That's why we felt it was important to learn their names, so they're not just some faceless statistic. We also decided that in addition to food, we were going to try to offer some other services. So we have hygiene kits that people can get once a month. We always have a supply of socks, we have underwear, we have a limited supply of bus passes. StarTran allows me to buy the low-income bus passes at $8, which is helpful. We can help with filling prescriptions on a limited basis. If we have someone who just is in dire need, there's no other way they can get it, we will fill it for them. We also have a case manager that works about 5 hours a week. She needs to be full-time. And again, you might ask, well, there's other agencies in Lincoln that have case management. Why do you need it? Well, let me tell you what happens. For instance, at Matt Talbot, the day the case manager is available, the line is out the door. You might not get seen. Centerpoint has case managers, same thing. And those agencies have some requirements. We have none. If you ask, we're going to help you if we can. We are working on becoming what's called an open door, which means people can come to us and then we can take the information and we can refer them out to whoever can help them. Again, is this crazy? Yes. Yes, it is. Is it working? So far. How can you help? Well, you can come and eat at Lulu's and you can pay for your meal. That helps. You can have us cater an event for you. Our catering prices are very reasonable. I made the decision that since we're in this for the common good, we're going to charge less for the same services and great food that you would get from any other caterer. If you have an organization that's doing a fundraiser that needs catering, we will do it at a percentage above cost so that we can cover our costs, make some money, and you can make some money for your fundraiser. I left some cards back there by the treats that shows like what your donation would do. Each, like $5 of course is one meal. $25 gets like 2 hours of case management. There's a lot of different things because people like to know, if I'm going to give you money, what's the return? Well, the obvious return is that you'll feel good about helping someone who can never repay you. We do work closely with other organizations. We are, I like to say, faith-inspired, because that's what's behind this. But we don't ask anybody. We don't preach to people. They don't get a sermon with their sack lunch. We just do it because it's the right thing to do. and because it's needed. I mean, I have people say to me all the time, you know, in Lincoln, if people wanted to work, they could get a job. I said, well, you're right, except transportation. StarTran does not run. If you have a second shift job, you can get there, but you can't get home. If you don't have an address, you don't, you know, there's a million reasons. It sounds good. Yeah, there are jobs in Lincoln, but not everybody is in a place where they can get that job and keep it. So, with that, are there questions?
First of all, thank you.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
And I think you should charge more for your catering, because if people can afford it, it's way for us to give back. Just FYI,
Well.
thought. Do people, you have a board, I presume, maybe?
We are working, I should have mentioned, we are now officially a nonprofit. Our nonprofit is called Loaves and Fishes, because we believe that what we have will be enough. Lulu's is transitioning from an LLC into a B Corp. If anybody knows what that is. I will gift my hugely expensive ownership interest in Lulu's to the nonprofit. So that will be happening. So we're working on that.
Thank you. So do you ever, you know, when you talk about, certainly, yeah, this is amazing. Them, you know, being called by their name and making it personal, and they're treated just like everybody else. Do you have volunteers, anyone that would be willing to come in and just, or do you have a team that's big enough to like have a conversation with them? Or, you know, just, yeah, I don't know.
We are working towards having some volunteers work. I have 2 very part-time employees, and we're going to make this model work long-term. We are going to need some volunteers as well, because people like to get paid when they work. So, yes.
Are you a 501c3?
We are. Yes.
We've got Give the Lincoln Day coming up, and you're a nonprofit, and you're in the community foundation facility, basically. Are you looking to bring your nonprofit into the realm of people?
Well, that hurts me right here, because we are a state recognized 501c3, but the IRS determination is not done. We cannot participate this year in Give to Lincoln Day. But we're planning something for the fall to do our own. Yes.
What are your business hours downtown?
Right now, warm weather, we just switched to 8 to 3 Monday through Friday with specific Saturday events. Watch our Facebook page. If you don't like our Facebook page, Lulu's on N, please go and like that.
You have a website?
Yes, Lulu's on NST.com. I think it's new, just this week, so yes.
And then is Wednesday concert?
Starting May 1st, yes.
Does that translate into your business, your biggest business?
That is our busiest day, and we are, this all brings some logistics. We are gently reminding our people who eat for free that there are times of the day that are better for them to come than others. I really resisted doing that, but in order to serve our paying customers in the best way, we need to make some adjustments. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you.
so much, Karen.
Thank you.
When I used to work downtown, I would, it was before Karen owned it, but I used to go there all the time to eat. And it's a wonderful spot. You grab your lunch, you sit out in the community garden there, and it's just beautiful, especially on weather like we've had the last couple of days. So please go down, buy a lunch, buy another one for somebody else while you're there, and support her in any way you can. It's a wonderful cause. So Karen, thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you.
We'd like to present you with a Focus Suite mug as a thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I always, coffee is my friend.
That's because you own a business. That's
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Please hang around as long as you like. No need to run off. Hope you'll join us again next week. But meet somebody new before you leave, exchange business cards, and you can hang up here and visit with one another as long as you like. Grab some more treats, grab some more coffee, and again, you don't need to rush off. See you next week.